Hello everyone, it's Mama Sa from Mama Sa Stories here yet again. And are you ready for bed? Have you cleaned your teeth? Are you in your gym jams? Have you had a nice bath or a shower? Or do you do that in the morning? Why don't you write to me and tell me about your nighttime routine? I like to have a nice warm shower before I go to bed. It helps me sleep. And then I read a book. So tonight I'm going to read you a little book called Herbert and Harry. And it's about what things are important to one person may not be important to another, and what makes you happy is what's important. But let's find out and look in the book. It is written by Pamela Allen. And here's the cover. Herbert and Harry are two brothers who live and work together, by Pamela Allen. Now here's a little picture of their house. And here's a picture of the mountains near their house. These are what the people put inside the front covers just to make the book look pretty and just to give you some more ideas of what it looks like where they live, because they live in their own world that the author creates, the person that writes the book. Can you say author? That's right, I'm an author. And one day soon I'm going to read my books. I've been practicing my drawing skills. Have you? Here we go. Once upon a time, there were two brothers called Herbert and Harry who lived together in the same house. Looks like a nice house, doesn't it, on that lovely green hill with its pink roof and its orangey brown walls? They dug together in the same garden. Don't they look happy digging together, getting their vegetables ready? They fished together from the same boat, in the same sea. One day, while they were out fishing, they hauled up a great treasure. "This is mine!" shouted Herbert. "I pulled it up." "No," said Harry. "I chose this place to cast out our net." And there they are fighting over the treasure. Can you see the treasure chest? And behind that's the fish they've been catching happily together. So Herbert, in a fit of rage, pushed Harry and he fell out of the boat. Splash! Went Harry. It's not good, is it? There he is, pushing his wonderful brother that he loves so much out of the boat because he wants to keep that treasure all to himself. That's called selfish. Harry, luckily, was a strong swimmer and managed to get safely home to shore. There he is swimming away from his angry brother in the boat to the shore side, which is where the land is. The shore is another word for the land on the edge of the beach. While Herbert rowed his boat with his treasure as fast as he could for as long as he could, until he reached a lonely stretch of coastline, which is another word for beach, coastline. From there he started to walk. He wanted to get as far away from Harry as possible. There he is, all alone, on the beach with his treasure, getting away from his brother that not that long ago he was smiling at like that. That's what greed can do to you. You get your mum or dad or your caretaker to tell you what greed is. It's not a good thing. It's like, you know when there's a plate of chocolate biscuits and you want to eat all of them, but you've got friends or your brother and your sister want some too, and you eat all of them and they get really upset and then you get a tummy ache? That's what greed is. At last Herbert lay down to sleep. even though it was very dark and he was very tired, he could not sleep. What if Harry came and stole his treasure? So the next day, Herbert hid the treasure among the roots of an old tree. But that night, when it got dark, he still couldn't sleep. What if someone had seen him put the treasure in there under the tree? I wonder if he even knows what's in that treasure box. I don't, do you? Did you guess? Do you think it's jewels and diamonds, or maybe it's gold, or maybe it's chocolate bars? Maybe that would be worth hiding. Or an old Easter egg. He decided to take the treasure high up into the hills where no one would find it. He walked and walked, days and days and many nights. The land got emptier and emptier, meaning there was no houses and no trees and no streams and no sweet little animals, nothing. And the treasure got heavier and heavier. Says it all really, doesn't it, that picture? A bit desolate. At last, he reached the highest mountain in the land, and there he hid the treasure under some rocks. But he still couldn't sleep. Do you think he's not sleeping because he really misses his brother? I do. They don't say that in this book, but I reckon that's what it is. And he's probably feeling a bit guilty. Do you know what guilty is? It's when you do something wrong and you wish you hadn't, and it makes your stomach feel like there's butterflies in it. I like butterflies, but not in my stomach. What if someone had followed him and stole the treasure while he slept, he thought to himself. And there he is, up the top of the mountain, all on his own. Must be very lonely. He decided that the only way to keep the treasure safe was to put it in a place which was so strong no one could get in, ever. He began to chip at the rock. Chip, chip, chip. What do you think he's going to do next? I wonder what he's eating. Maybe nothing. Chip, 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 chip. Can you chip with me? Chip, 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 went Herbert forever. He's digging into the mountain. I bet the mountain doesn't like it. He's got an old beard now. He's getting old. Many years passed. At last he made a deep, dark tunnel into the middle of the tallest mountain in the land. He pushed the treasure right to the end of the tunnel and blocked the entrance with a huge boulder. That's a lot of work, and he still hasn't opened the lid, as far as we know. There he is, pushing the boulder over, and there's the treasure all the way down there. That's the treasure there. Very important to him, more important than his brother, or eating, or sleeping, or having fun, or going to the movies, or playing with your dolls, or playing with your trucks, or reading books, or colouring in. I think I'd rather be us, wouldn't you? Oh no! Do you know what he did next? To protect himself, Herbert thought he needed guns. Lots of guns. There he is, dragging a cannon up the mountain. The guns were not enough, he thought. Herbert needed a fort. So he built one. And many more years passed him by. And there's his fort he built out of boulders, with all the guns sticking out to protect his treasure. But he's still not sleeping or having any fun. Today, Herbert and Harry are very old men. Herbert still guards the treasure in his fort on the top of the highest mountain in the land, but still he cannot sleep. While Harry, who had no treasure at all, has always been able to sleep soundly. And there's Herbert all alone guarding this material object, this thing that means nothing. And there is Harry with his grandchildren, as happy can be, having had a wonderful life of colouring books and parties and kisses and hugs and love and work and gardening and so many things. Maybe he was going horse riding, or maybe he'd walk his dog. All the wonderful things, the little things that make our life so good, rather than sitting on a mountain guarding a treasure. And that is him with his wife and his children on his mountain, in his house. The end. I thought that story had a good message in it. What did you think? Oh my goodness, Pamela Allen has written so many books. Nearly as many as me. I just haven't published all mine yet. Wow. I might have to look up a few more of her books. I think they have a good message. And I hope you enjoyed that book. And I hope that you go to sleep knowing that you're doing much more fun things than guarding some object. Like maybe you've got a favourite toy that you don't want to share, or you hide away, and you know what? One day you won't care about that toy. It's not that important. What's important is other people's feelings, and being kind to people and sharing and helping your mum, your dad, or your caretakers, whoever loves you, helping them a little bit each day. Clean up your room, help them cook dinner, things like that, feed the cat or the dog. Those things mean much, much more than presents or treasures. Good night, my beautiful children and my wonderful caretakers and friends. I love you so much. Sleep tight, everybody. Oh, and don't forget, press like and share and leave some comments. Where's my comments? Hello. I love comments. Mwah. Mama's off.